Philadelphia is preparing for one of its largest and most visible celebrations of the LGBTQIA plus community as Philly Pride 365 presents Pride Weekend 2026. This year's festivities include Pride Week events, a community pride march, Pride Festival on the Ben Franklin Parkway, bringing together thousands of residents, visitors, allies, artists, advocates, and community organizations together to celebrate Philly Pride 365, which continues its year-round mission of advancing LGBTQIA plus visibility, civic engagement, and economic inclusion throughout the region. Today, we'll talk about the significance of Pride in 2026, the evolution of the celebration, and what attendees can expect during this historic year for Philadelphia. Joining us is Tyrell Brown, founder and executive director of Philly Pride 365. He's an award-winning LGBTQIA plus activist, writer, and poet. And I want to thank you so much, Tyrell. For listeners who may not be familiar with Philly Pride 365, can you talk about the organization's mission and how it's expanded Pride from just a single event into a year-round movement?
Absolutely, and thanks for having me, Lorraine. I really appreciate it. Philly Pride 365 was founded originally when I kind of coined the term was when I was at Galay, which is a social justice organization located in Kensington. Does wonderful social services work for LGBTQIA plus community, prioritizing queer, trans, BIPOC, right? And so. Really, Pride has been a movement from the jump. We like to say Pride was founded in protest, but Pride was always a movement, right? So we never stopped advocating. We never stopped pushing for the world that we want to live in, right? And so what we decided to do when I sort of coined the term Philly Pride 365 was make sure that Pride was visible not just during the month of June, during Pride Month, and not just during the weekend of Philly Pride, but also throughout the year with continued conversations, continued advocacy, engagements with other LGBTQ nonprofits, small businesses to make sure that people are really, really getting the visibility that we so richly deserve and that we work for every year. And then in addition to it, like with those civic engagements throughout the year, really working towards cultivating a movement or enhancing a movement, especially with the socio-political challenges that our community faces in 2026 and beyond. Really wanting to dig our heels in here and make sure that Pride is not just a weekend, but each and every day of the year when people speak that word, or when you see an individual who is a member of our community, or if you're queer or questioning, or if you have a family member or your ally, that that your representation and that your allyship for our community matters every single day of the year.
Well, there's a big event happening on the Ben Franklin Parkway, making a major evolution to the event that you've always had every year. What inspired the move, and how will the new location enhance the experience for attendees, and what can they look forward to?
One of the major things that inspired the move was really like focusing on community needs and accessibility, right? And I mean accessibility in regards to people with seen and unseen lived disabilities, right? And we want to make sure that they have full access to the festival geographically and as they navigate the festival ground. And that was something that was really difficult in the neighborhood because it's such a dense corridor. So in 2022 and 2023, when we brought Pride to the neighborhood really for the first time in history in Philadelphia and kind of had a festival there, it was 47,000 people, right? And that was really a big number for us. And then last year, going up to 150,000 people, tripling that in about 4 years, really made it difficult for those items. And then also really wanting to make sure that security concerns that were happening inside the festival, but also external threats to the community, were being met with the kind of tangible changes that make our community feel safer during the festival. And I think that those sort of things really drove it. and also just answering the bell to the local community here in Washington Square West, to the city of Philadelphia at large, and also really trying to integrate other elements here that we could sort of spread out what the impact would look like and be, and how we can meaningfully engage people in an accessible and secure and safe way for everyone to be involved and feel seen and lifted up. So that really is what the antithesis of it, what that we had to come at it with, looking towards our community that may be undocumented, and seeing like what are some ways that we can like make sure that they feel safer to come to the festival, right? And an open streets festival doesn't necessarily achieve that metric for as many people might think or recognize. So meeting that challenge as well was something that was critical to what we were ultimately planning to do, going all the way back to November. I always tell people we start planning this right after National Coming Out Day, right? So the time to dive in and have a voice in what's changing and moving and volunteering is then, because that's when we're really starting to cultivate what the next year looks like for our community, to have a robust summer of celebration for our community. It lifts up our visibility in all intersections as many as possible.
Well, give us the rundown. Exactly how's everything going to unfold? What should people look for? What can they expect on that day, Sunday?
Well, if I could, I would say starting even today, we're doing Pride around the region, so you can see many our 1,000-foot Pride flag up in Ambler this afternoon. In addition to that, there's a Pride poetry slam at Val's tonight that I'll actually be participating in, and then there's also several other panels throughout the week that include PLHIV, so people living with HIV and lifting up those voices, and then in perspectives and challenges, and also Pride is Power panel as well, that will be happening at the Lowe's Hotel on Thursday, and then also on Friday we're having our opening night event at the Art Museum as well. That's sort of a low key gala that will be there with performances and awardees that have been doing really fabulous work throughout the year in our community, and then of course our Gayborhood Gives Back event that will be actually in the Gayborhood. It's a sort of an open streets concept, really to try to drive the revenue into the bars that don't have a festival on their footprint this year, right? So, and that'll only be from 4 to 8. So it's a shortened, small, low key. We're only looking for a few thousand people, 21 and 21 plus, to be able to participate in any sort of activities at the bars. And then, of course, on Sunday, our Pride March that will start lining up probably around 10 o'clock. And we have several different elements, Lorraine, this year we're really excited about. We have a Pride Color Guard, so, flags and baton twirling and things like that. We have our cheer section, so Cheer Philadelphia will be there, as well as a float that's commemorating William Way's 50th anniversary and PGN's 50th anniversary. So celebrating our friends and our accomplices over there. And then also we have our marching elements, right? So that's the community that can come and join, by themselves, grab a piece of the flag. If there is a piece left to grab, we're trying to extend it as far as we can to get everyone to grab a piece. But we'll have marching sections that people can join for free, and several community organizations and businesses that will join us to march from the neighborhood starting on 13th and Spruce, and then leading all the way over to the Parkway. I think Dykes on Bikes will be there too, which is really exciting. We'll have a whole bicycle contingent. And then also, once they lead over to the neighborhood, gates will be open for ticket buying. And if you've already purchased your ticket, we'll have a fast lane for people to just kind of get in. We'll have 4 stages of entertainment there. A record number of food trucks that we have this year, and also a record number of registered LGBTQ small businesses and vendors that will be there to provide resources and services and also sell their wares. Another really exciting element is our Makers Tent. Our Makers Tent will feature glass blowing as well as woodworking and welding. That will have its own small stage that will have people that can go and witness what they're doing and also purchase items on site as well from other makers and small businesses and artisans in the Philadelphia area that will be there that were scholarshiped actually. So that was something that we wanted to really give back to small businesses. As you know, on our main stage, we're going to have a really fabulous lineup of local R&B talent and singers and vocalists, drag talent, artists that will be there all throughout the day. And of course, culminating at the end of the festival with a commemoration to none other than Patti LaBelle, who is someone who has been an icon and an ally to our community for decades. I just recently, Lorraine, really quick, I saw an ad from 1988, I believe it was, or maybe it was 89. And it was Patti LaBelle who was lifting up a message around awareness for AIDS and people living with HIV and how, we needed to put eyes and attention on that and care and support for people who are vulnerable. So to say that she's always been 10 toes and standing with her community is an understatement. So having her here this year to honor her and to award her and to serenade her, as if we could ever serenade her as good as she serenades herself, right? Because she is none other than the Queen Mother. It's going to be monumental, and it's a closing end of the show for an hour and a half that's really going to be a sight to behold. There's so many other elements. We still have our sober zone, our youth and family zone will be there as well, and also an accessibility zone for people who need to decompress throughout the day. So there will be all those elements that people have traditionally come to see in the neighborhood that will be over there, that will be spacious, tree-lined, and accessible for all.
So you mentioned this is a ticketed event. So tell us more about how that works and how do people get tickets and how much are they?
Absolutely. So, ticketed event, it's $10 for tickets to get in. So, you can do that by going to our website at www.phillypride365.org. Um, Also, just to let you know, if there are accessibility issues in regards to economic accessibility, right? People may not have $10 to give. Times are hard right now, right? Times can kind of consistently be hard, right? Gas prices are through the roof, but but right now we are also offering accessibility through our strategic partners, which are local nonprofits to provide social services, so people can not only get the celebration and the community that they need at the festival, but they can also get what they need that is going to be sustainable for their wellness year round. So that's testing through Galay, that people can go there to for testing, and also for youth drop-in. So if you go there and you are under the age of 20, you can go to Youth Drop In, hang out in Galay, engage in their resources, and sign up, and they will give you a free ticket code. And the same goes for the Attic Youth Group. They are also offering free ticket codes for youth that go there for their drop in, and also for parents and caregivers as well, right? So if you are a parent or caregiver of a youth that is there for drop in, they will also support you in that fashion. Philly AIDS Thrift, one of our wonderful, fabulous partners over there. I mean, my heart. And I love them so much. They will be also for testing at their location. I believe they only do testing on Thursday and Friday. I'd have to fact check that to make sure, but it is on our website for those who would like to go over there for testing. Mazzoni Center, of course, and the fabulous work they do year round for testing right over here at Washington Square West, their location here on 12th and Locust. Colors for drop in as well, Colors organization, if you go there for social services and drop in, and also TPAC, who does social services and drop in as well, who will be there to support the community with community access tickets if you go there for social services. So we're really happy and we're really proud of them and what they're able to provide. So if people do have barriers, go there for the resource and get your free access ticket. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you. Purchase your ticket ahead of time if you want to, or you can scan at the gate as well. So once you come up to the festival ground, we'll have ticket takers that will be there to scan. We'll hand you a QR that you can scan scan in your phone, purchase your ticket. You'll get your wristband and go right in the door. We have several entrances this year, so we're hoping to like reduce any bottlenecking, where we'll be able to have lanes for people to get in and out from off of 21st Street, and then also one just coming off north on Spring Garden as well. That will be an access gate for people to get in, and then also our VIP entrance. So that's for people that wanted to pay for an extra experience on the festival ground as well. That will be located up closer to the art museum steps. So really looking to engage many different levels for people that are seeking access, and are able to achieve that by supporting a local nonprofit such as Philly Pride 365.
Yes. And once again, the website is?
It's www.phillypride365.org. You can also go to our our Instagram as well, and go and get tickets there through the quick links as well under their Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, Tyrell, we want to thank you so much. Tyrell Brown, founder and executive director of Philly Pride 365. Of course, this Sunday is going to be the big event on the Parkway, but there are going to be activities happening all throughout the week. And also, 365 Philly Pride 365 does events throughout the year. And then, of course, there's Outfest that's coming up in October. Is that right, October?
Yes, October 11th, and our fest is free for all, and it will be back home in the neighborhood. As I like to say, it's like we exist as LGBTQIA plus people, and always have in every block and every corner of the city of Philadelphia. But the neighborhood does hold a special place in our hearts for what we're able to achieve here. The neighborhood used to be a place where we called it the neighborhood because we lived here, could afford to live here, and also play and work here. But now it's a place for nightlife and to support our neighbors that live here still, to support our elders, and to really lift up, the businesses that we are still able to have here and lucky to have here. So we'll be doing that event on Saturday, but also, again, like you said, events year round. So just looking for that community support to come in, support the bars, support our local businesses here, and also support us over on the festival ground.
Fantastic. Tyrell Brown, executive director and founder of Philly Pride 365. See you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday, everyone.